Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jocelyn. For today's topic, I'm going to discuss the Affidavit of Support for U.S. Tourist Visa Applicants. Please take note that there is a difference between an Affidavit of Support for immigrants and a Declaration of Support for non-immigrant visa applicants. But before we get started, please like this video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I always welcome new subscribers. Let's get started. If you're applying for a U.S. tourist visa and you needed to obtain an affidavit of support from a family or friend, then you must watch this video. Please take note that if you are a U.S. tourist visa applicant, you must demonstrate that you have the financial capacity to travel in the U.S. So that means you must have the financial means to support yourself while you are abroad. Please take note that a letter of invitation or an affidavit of support is not needed to apply for a visitor visa. Visa applicants must qualify on the basis of the applicant's residence and ties abroad rather than assurances from U.S. family and friends. So this means that you must prove that you have strong ties to qualify for a U.S. tourist visa. Also, an affidavit of support or declaration of support is not necessary for you to get approved for a visa. If you cannot cover all the costs for your trip, you may show evidence that another person will cover some or all costs for your trip. This is where the declaration of financial support will come in when applying for a U.S. tourist visa. Please remember that during your interview, you must familiarize yourself with the answers in your application because the questions that will be asked will come from the application form and it must match everything, including the statements from your declaration of financial support. Evidence of your employment and your family ties may be sufficient to show the purpose of your trip and your intent to return to your home country. What is the purpose of your visit to the U.S.? You may be asked to provide evidence. Also, be short and specific. First, you can be on vacation or tourism. Where are you staying? Who are you staying with? If on a business purpose, the type of business or conference. What type of conference? How long are you going to stay in the U.S.? Make sure that all the answers during the interview must match your answers that were indicated in your application form. How will you support yourself? Who will cover your expenses? Do you have sufficient funds? You need to explain who will support yourself or if there's another person who will cover your expenses. Who are you visiting with? What is that person's employment? How long has she been in the U.S.? How did he or she get into the U.S.? State the full name, relationship, and address in the U.S. Next, what places are you going to visit? You can explain the different places for different periods of time. However, if you do not have the financial means to support yourself, you can utilize the declaration of support. So this form must be filled out by a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. For U.S. tourist visa applicants, you may utilize the declaration of financial support. This form must be used by a U.S. citizen, family member, or U.S. citizen, friend who is living abroad or living in the U.S. So the form is I-134, and please take note of the version of the form. Make sure that you use the latest version. For the Declaration of Financial Support, you can find this form at the USCIS website. Part 1, Basis for Filing. Part 2, Information about the beneficiary, such as full name, address, birth date, birthplace, country of citizenship, and such other information such as the beneficiaries anticipated length of stay in the United States. Also, the beneficiary's financial information must also be included, such as relationship to the beneficiary and income. All other questions must also be answered. Please take note that there are instructions at the USCIS website on how to use this form, and also there are purposes for using this form. Make sure that you abide by all the requirements on how to use this form, and please take note to use only the latest version. Whether or not you need the Declaration of Financial Support for your U.S. tourist visa application, the consular officer may ask you additional documentation to show evidence of the purpose of your trip, your intent to depart the U.S. after your trip, and or your ability to pay all the costs of your trip. Please remember, you must still show strong ties to qualify for a visa. Let me provide the difference between Affidavit of Support and Declaration of Support. The Affidavit of Support can be used by immigrant visa applicants, while the Declaration of Financial Support can be used by non-immigrant visa applicants or those applying for a U.S. tourist visa. Now, who needs to use the Declaration of Support? As I've mentioned in this video, tourist visa applicants must use the Declaration of Financial Support, which is Form I-134. Also, please remember that you must use the latest version of the Declaration of Support and that all specific details must be provided in the form. For immigrant visa applicants, you must use the Affidavit of Support. The Affidavit of Support is legally enforceable. This means that the sponsor's financial responsibility usually lasts until the applicant either becomes a U.S. citizen or can be credited with 40 qualifying quarters of work under the Social Security Act. An Affidavit of Support, also called the Form I-864, is a document an individual signs to accept financial responsibility for the applicant who is coming to live in the U.S. If you have any other questions or comments, please post them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Again, thank you guys for supporting my channel. And if you haven't liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I always welcome new subscribers. Thank you guys for watching. I hope everyone is staying safe and have a great day.